Well, g'day everybody. It's I should say hello. I say g'day everybody straight away every day. Might be a bit boring. Anyway, it's the 31st of January, last day of the month. It's all rather crazy. It'll be February tomorrow, which is nuts. Anyway, all is good here in Les Sables d'Olonne. And today we're going to talk about some really interesting stuff, but I'll leave the discussion towards the end, just about the logistics of how the actual MGR is going to work, because I've noticed I've been picking up little things, people talking about, oh, they want to come to this port, they want to go to that port to meet the boats and this, that, and the other. And we're warning everyone, don't jump too quick. Don't book any airfares, don't book any accommodation, all that sort of stuff, because it's going to get very complicated later on, and you need to just sit tight for a while. So we'll get into that discussion at the end, which will be quite interesting for those that are planning to do a trip to rendezvous with the event and meet the entrance and have a look at their boats and all that sort of stuff, which will be fantastic, believe me. And we're encouraging everyone to actually do that. So fingers crossed. Anyway, we'll get straight into the tracker. There's some interesting things going on, and it's good to get some of the updates from the entrance as well. So some of the things that are going on, I'm forbidden to talk about until they finish, which has got to do with some competitive issues, top secret stuff. So there is definitely, as much as you can imagine, some interesting things going on there to take the crown for this one. So anyway, let's get straight into it and see how we go. You should be looking at the tracker now, and so am I. And yeah, there's getting very close to the island now. This is quite a large scale. Right this minute, I'll scale it back so we can see everyone. There we go. Popeye and Jasmine are starting to look at the idea of hooking up, which will be a bit of fun. So conditions look to be pretty good from the reports from the boats, pretty much matching the forecast that I've been saying. You know, when you see the green, it's 15 to 20. And even though the seas are sort of still up there, a bit rolly, they have decreased a little. But we know there's some breeze coming. So we'll go straight into the weather, and I'll just push that forward 2 days now, and we can see exactly what's going to happen. It's supposed to be a nice day today and then picking up tomorrow. So here we go. There it is, bang. By 10:30 this evening, they're going to see some increase in the wind. That yellow pushes it from 15 to 20, changes it completely to 25 to potentially up to 30 knots. And when it comes in like that, they may start experiencing squalls again. So it could be a bit more work. So there we go into the 1st of February. So there we go. There's 24 hours. So it's going to happen pretty quick now. Their easy days are limited. This is right through to the end of coming in the afternoon of the 1st, starting to back off again a bit. So settling down. So that means there's something coming through. I'll have a look at the clouds in a minute. We'll do the same things with clouds and just see what happens. So coming through to the 2nd, the strong winds are dropping down south, which is a good thing. Okay, so it's all over. So the boats in the middle of the fleet who are coming through later, they're going to get just 24 hours of fluffy stuff. The others, it's dropping off nicely. And that's cool. It's going to be a nice sail. So by this time, by the 3rd, early hours of the morning, the leaders will absolutely be in, and we'll be looking at probably starting to get Biggest Monkey and then Peeler, Cheapest Peeler, and Peter Punk and Little V are right on top of each other at the moment. I just noticed that. I try not to look at the tracker too much before I do these updates, because then it's new to me as well as new to you. So the weather's looking good. Wow. That's looking done here. Perfect. They're going to have a nice run there all the way in, right? There's the 4th. Holy dooly. There's the 5th. All surprises and smiles. By then, you know, most of them will be starting to be in by the 5th and the 6th. A little bit of a puff there. That's not too bad. The fleet is 10 days, virtually 10 days faster than the last Transat last year. The guys who did that, including Ayrton, will be looking at this thinking this is nuts. To get across so fast is amazing, and that's why we've lucked out. We should be there, I know. And it's not even, to a degree, it's not even money. I've got a few things happening here the stopping us. Budget is a consideration, but it was just impossible for us to get the Saturday flight. That's the only flight that's available tomorrow for us, and we can't do it. So we're flying out on Tuesday. Anyway, that's very interesting. All right, so we'll bring it back now to today's weather, and I'll pick it up one more size to have a look here. But there's certainly some good sailing happening for everyone. I can't quite get them right over there, but I'll leave it at this. So Jasmine's going to take up the rear end there. I mean, take up the back marker for the fleet. Oops, no, I was saying nothing. 4.4 knots and 106 mile day. She's as you saw in the report, she's looking really happy and so on. Another naked sailor, because I'm the same when I'm on the boat. There's nothing happening as hot. I virtually wear nothing. So that became my call sign in the 21 Transat. I was the naked sailor, and then others have used it. I know Dan's picked up on it. He's quite famous in Adelaide to become known as the naked sailor. And Jasmine didn't say anything. She just sent a nice photo. So no more said. Okay, Popeye, I'm sure he's got something on. 5 knots, 109 mile day. Okay, so he's done 109. Jasmine's done 106, just squeaking ahead. He's probably going to be across through here soon, and they may converge to the point they can talk on the radio. Not sure. BB, Jacob, everyone's heading down to the rum line, sticking towards it as it's finishing. 5.3 knots and 121 mile day. That's not bad. That's a bit of an uptick for him. So it probably means that the weather's dropped off enough for him to get the big kite up, and he's been hooting along with that. So that's good for him. Little Ren has obviously lost out ground because of his ribs, but the priority is to get fixed up so he's fit and healthy, ready for the MGR, and that would be the case because we're still 23 days, a bit over 3 weeks away from the start, and he'll be in a few days. So he's got just the right amount of time to recover and be firing for the leg to Panama, which will be another good one with trade winds. So it should all be on the quarter, sailing to Panama, pretty easy sailing, and it's only 1,200 miles. So less than, it'll be 12 days or less. Not too bad. I've got to pick this up. There's a big party going on here. I've got to enlarge it so we can see who's doing what. So here we go. We've got Argo, 5 knots, 114 mile day. We've got Dan, the holiday man, 125 mile day. He's clearing out. So 5.5 knots. And we've got John, 5.1, 121. He's lost 4 miles to Dan. They're chatting on the radio right next to each other, so having a bit of fun. And Argo's, after all his, sort of courses all over the place, he's pulling in line with the other 3. So they're going to have a bit of a boot to the finish, which is fun for them. And they're all relaxing into it. They're all having the best of the good food they've got left, and getting time to catch up on plenty of sleep. So that's good. This lot looks like a collision now. Jeepers, they are right next to each other. I just want to see this. We've gone off the scale now. Hang on a sec. I'll just get the measure. That should still work. The toggle's working. Here we go. Jeepers. Bow to bow. That's 1.5 miles. So they're basically a mile and a bit apart. They could just about shout at each other. Peter's probably saying to Dan, slow down, I want to have a chat, And Dan's probably saying, come on, hurry up, but he'll be fighting to keep away from her. You will have seen her by now. So that's pretty interesting. That's all I know from there. So wow, because I haven't seen any reports yet about a rendezvous, but I'm sure it's happening. I'm sure they're gonna have some fun going through to the finish. So here we are, biggest monkey. So let's just measure it out while we're here. It's going to be virtually impossible. Oh, I slid that along too quick. Virtually impossible for them to catch biggest monkey, but he is 82 miles up front. So that's kind of fun. We'll just walk that along while we're doing it. Biggest monkey doing 5.7, 129 mile day. So 129 versus these guys, 115 and 115 and 122. So still generally moving faster. So so there's no question there. And he's a fair way off the mark for the others, but let's just have a look. Okay, so while he's here from bow to bow, let's go to here. About 76 miles behind Origami, and I'm not sure what's going on with Origami at the moment. He's not making the speeds that I would imagine. We haven't heard any reports of any issues. He's not dangerously slow, but he's strangely slow at the moment. So before we go there, we'll just look at Dan. So biggest monkey's 108 miles behind Renaud. That's not going to happen. You're not going to get there. So I'll get rid of this, and let's just have a look here at Origami. 4.2 knots and 119 mile day. He's only, when I say only, I just got rid of the tracker. In terms of areas, this isn't the distance, but I'll go the distance. It's only 35 miles away. When you've got trade winds like this for any length of time, you're in the same weather. So I have no doubt that they are basically getting exactly the same weather. And Origami has been neck and neck with Renaud for the last number of days, as you know. Renaud is chuffing along. Did a 128 mile day, doing 5.8 knots, and it's quite relaxed weather, right? Consistent weather. Okay, Origami's only 9 miles behind over the day, so that's less than half a knot. So maybe it's not as bad as it looks, but he's only doing 4.2 knots right now for the last 4 hours, and Renaud is doing 5.8, right? Got the big bits up, 4.2, 5.8. That's one full sail size difference. If Origami is blowing out his A5, right, the big red one that you've probably seen him hoot away at the start, that would suggest a reason why he's only doing 4.2 knots. I may be wrong, but it doesn't stack up, especially when they've been so competitive and so up for it. It's not about sleep, I don't think, because they're 5 hours behind. So this was the 12 o'clock position, 8 o'clock in the morning. It's not as if he's been sleeping and got up and now he'll start moving again, I don't think. So very interesting. Is there a conspiracy theory going on there? Ooh, I don't know. But anyway, maybe we'll hear something about that in the future. Let's just build this up, and I'll look at the cloud cover, just and roll that forward on the weather as well, just so we can get an impression of what's happening with this one day. I'll pick up to see if there's going to be a lot of squalls. The clouds will give us an indication of, I'll go back one bigger here, give us an indication. You can see all this rubbish coming down from the back. So I hit that, and I'll just walk the clouds forward a day. That doesn't look too bad. There's nothing intense there. So it looks like wind more than squalls. You usually get these increases of wind underneath the clouds and stuff, but there goes the first day, second day. It's not too bad. So I think I think it's going to be nothing extraordinary. You can see it opening up there. There is clouds, or there's a bit of a puff. When you get these colour in here, that's got a lot more wind in it, but that's on the 4th. Okay, they're going to get a bit of that. I'll keep it rolling. Yeah, you can see some. So it's going to get squally towards the end, maybe. Okay. Temperatures, they're all starting to talk. Well, not all, but the ones that are talking about the temperature getting hotter. 28, 29 degrees. Do I go outside? Do I go inside? Niels was the first one to start talking about that, but I know exactly what he's going through. It's very frustrating because you don't have a bimini. You can't hide from it. And what do? Heat up from inside, or go outside and get burnt. But the good news is there doesn't seem to be a lot of water. When you're sailing 15 to 20 knots, the boats can be quite dry, right? And it's all the winds behind you. You imagine if you've got 15 knots and the boat's doing 5, there's only 10 knots apparent breeze on the boat, which is really pleasant. And if it's 20 knots, you're doing 5, it's only 15 knots, which is sort of cool. And because it's all behind, the waves are sort of surging and rolling, but they're not slapping up the side of the boat and smashing water all over the boat and spray and all that. I think they're having a really nice time at the moment. And I think Niels is also realising that he's not continuing. So he said, I'm going to miss this, because it's pretty much what he's been dreaming about and doing for the last number of years, building the boat, doing all that. And yes, he's selling it straight away because he's got other things to do in his life. But I bet you there's a pang of, all these other guys are going. Can I just postpone my work for a while? But he'll probably miss his wife. So I doubt whether that's going to happen. That was just a throwaway line. Anyway, all kind of fun. I think that's, we can have a look at the leaderboard see what the ETAs are saying. We're in France. Antigua's about 5 hours behind on the timeline. So when it's 1 o'clock here, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning over there. I just spoke to Ayrton, by the way, just checking signals for the arrival of the boats. They're all organised. The National Sailing Academy, Alison over there, they've organised a really good boat if we need it. If the conditions don't allow it, they'll make their own way through to the marina. And if it's early hours in the morning, then they'll take their own time at the finish line and off English Harbour and then sail around to Falmouth Harbour where we're berthed and go from there. I'll show you a picture of that in a minute just to explain. So Renaud is now pushing through to be late on the 2nd of February, which is nuts, absolutely crazy. Good speed, fantastic sailing from everyone, actually. And I think it'll probably get a bit less than that if it's so on the 2nd of February at 2nd of February at 8 o'clock at night. I reckon it'll be closer to midnight, but we'll see. And based on that, the elapsed time would be 22 days and 6 hours. Now, we used to talk about that. I've always said that someone could crack 21 days if they were really nuts, but that was a long shot. I did mine in 28 days. Etienne and so on did it in 26 days. These guys are going to knock nearly 4 days off, or certainly 3 and something days. The guys last year did it in like 35 days, I think it was. So huge difference. It's 10 or 11 days quicker. It's just nuts. Anyway, that's life. So they're going to have a longer holiday there, which is interesting. Origami, biggest money, 23rd, biggest monkey rather. We've got someone hang on a sec. That's interesting. I didn't check that. I'll have a look at his last time. That might be why he's sitting up there. I'll check that in a minute. When it goes grey like this on the leaderboard, it means they haven't logged a recent position. So it could be a glitch, but I'll check because I didn't look at the time of the report for him. Peter Punk suggesting the 4th. I'd add 12 hours to all of these to give you a better indication of when they're going to go, maybe less, and add another 6 hours or something, but it's the 4th of February. I hope we're there by then for Peter Punk, and then so it goes down the line. Argo late on the 5th, Little Ran late on probably he'll be early the 6th, I reckon. BB late on the 6th, Popeye, afternoon of the 9th or early 10th, and Jasmine, name your price. I'd say somewhere around about the 10th, somewhere on the 10th. So that's it. Now let's just check the latest time for Little B, not Little Bo. Peter Punk, hang on. I've got to push this up again now. Okay, see, this might change the results a bit. So, change the results. Here we go, Little B. Yeah, that's out of sync. He's 4 hours ahead of that. I didn't pick that. So that's his 8 o'clock position, but Peter Punk is 12 o'clock position. So Peeler is 4 hours beyond that, 4 5s are 20. So I'll give you a visual impression of where Dan is compared to Peter Punk. Another one here. Okay, 5 4s are 20, so he's about 20 miles ahead. So Dan is actually going to be somewhere around about there. When Peeler was here, Dan is over here. So they're not on colliding, but she's certainly following in the wake of what's going on. Anyway, all good. That's it. We're done on the tracker. So I'll come back. Oh, no, what I wanted to do, hang on. You should still be on the tracker. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to do a quick trip. Hang on to your hats, everybody. Over to finish line here. I was thinking we were going to Fiji. That's next. So forget about that. It was a bit strange. We're going to build this up and I'll just show you how the finish line works for Fiji and English Harbour and so on. We'll go right up to the pictures so you can have a look at the boats in the harbour. Here we go. You can do this anytime you like, by the way. And as you know, as they get closer, we'll be getting faster tracking inputs, so they're really direct. They'll be up to 15 minutes, every 15 minutes as they're about to cross the line. I'll go to the biggest one we can get here. I didn't see where the rowboats are because there's a lot of the boats are in on the world's toughest row. They're in already. Okay, that's too far. So yeah, they're coming close to these ones here. So short story is this is English Harbour here. still too big, sorry. Okay, here's English Harbour, very historic, with everything that's going on. This was a big naval base from the hundreds of years ago, and it's just quite a lot of fascinating history here. If you ever come out for a holiday, it's really quite cool. And there is a set of lead lights here, so you can come into English Harbour at night time and come around here, and this is where they're berthing and all those sorts of things all around here, okay, for the rowers and other big mega yachts and so on. So we use these leads as the finish line, so the boats will come down this way, and as soon as they cross and line up those leads, then they take their own time, and that's their finish time. Now we're actually over here at the right here, Dive Carib, where that's thing. That's the actual spot for the National Sailing Academy in Antigua. There's usually lots of boats anchored in here, like cruising boats, just anchored up. There's a very exclusive big boat marina here, mega yachts, worth, 100 million and all that sort of stuff. And then the sailing yachts here, their club, unfortunately, I think it was a year ago, burnt down, got all caught fire and burnt down. But beautiful marinas, and this is where most of the boats from the Caribbean 600 thing come and berth up. So there's going to be a lot of people around. So they cross the finish line, they come around the corner here. This is Falmouth Harbour, okay? So they basically turn the corner, they've got to come down, and I'll build this up. So you can see under their own steam, they've got to come down because they've already crossed the finish line. They come around the corner here, down beside the mega yacht marinas, and then come across down here. Then they turn left because there's a big reef in here. They turn left and they'll come across here, and this is where we're hanging out on this marina right here. And the National Sailing Academy really look after us. Allison's there and the girls working there, and it's cool. They have a great program of teaching locals to sail from all over the place. They work in the schools and so on. So we'll be based there for the next few weeks. So that's how the Antigua finish works. They sail along. I'll just review that. Come down here, cross the line, take their own time, and then they'll make their way around here and meet up with Ayrton and the others on the marina, or they might go out in the rib and so on and just be here to help them go around and so on. Okay, that's enough of that. Now I'll come back and I'm just going to mention a couple of things. First off, I've got extra shots here which I want to see. The first one I'm going to put on is this one here. Right, some of you may have seen that online about when we're seeking sponsors, but it's got key dates there. Okay, so these are the key dates for the race around the world, for the Mini Globe race, but they are best estimates of the dates. There's only one of those dates which is absolutely guaranteed, and that's the start time and date of February the 23rd in Antigua, based out of the National Sailing Academy to start the race. Then they come across and they'll go to Panama, and they'll be at the oh crikey, I've forgotten the name of the marina now. Oh, jeepers, must be because I'm so young. I keep saying Far East Marina. It's not the Far East Marina. It's the jeepers. I completely forget now. Hang on, I've got it on the map over here in a minute. I'll think of it. So they come into Panama, 1,200 miles, and then you can work your way around this list, okay, of where they're going to go. But once they get into Panama, a Shelter Bay Marina, we've got to take them all out of the water, take their mast down, put them on a trailer, drive them across the other side of Panama, and so on. And then it's scheduled to restart on the 23rd, but it'll probably be the 24th of March, and then they head towards Fiji. Okay, and then the course around the world goes from Panama. They can stop in the Marquesas anywhere they want, and they have up to 8 days to stop in Marquesas, and then they can head across to Tahiti, Papeete, and they get 7 days to stop in Papeete. Then they go to Tonga, and they get 8 days to stop in Tonga, and then they come to Fiji. So there's a total of 23 days there that they can have stopovers from the time they leave Panama to the time they get to Fiji. All right. Now, I'm going to come out of this because we don't need the map, and I'll just talk to you, and then I'll show you some more pictures. So here's how it works. There is only one compulsory pit stop, and that is in Papeete. They have to stop in Papeete. They don't have to stop in the Marquesas on the way. If they wanted to, they could just keep sailing straight past. And the 8 days that they're supposed to stop in the Marquesas, they put it in their pocket, right? And then when they go to Papeete, they have to stop there And even then, once they've made the stop there, they can stay there for 8 days. If they wanted to stay for, they can stay in Papeete for 7 days. And then if they're ready to start, they start. If they're not ready to start, they could use some of those days that they saved out of Marquises, right? So they've got another 8 days up their sleeve. So if they wanted to, 8 and 7 is 15. They could stay for 2 weeks in Papeete if they wanted to, and then go. And they're still not disadvantaged, right? When it comes to Tonga, if they want to stop in Tonga, they can stop there, but it's a voluntary stop, right? They don't have to stop in Tonga. So they may decide to sail straight past and put that 8 days for the Tonga stopover in their pocket and use the time when they get to Fiji. So when they get to Fiji, there is the total time they've taken from Panama through to Fiji. And whatever time they get there, the program will automatically take out 23 days of stopovers, whether they've used them or not, and put that in the time. So if they don't use the days, it doesn't affect them. They can put them all in the bank. If they wanted to sail non-stop from Panama to Fiji, it doesn't give them, they don't get a better performance because the time will be adjusted for their time at sea when they get in port, but it means they get an extra 23 days holiday in Fiji. So each of the boats will manage their own timeline. I'm sure a lot of family and friends will be coming to Fiji, and so the boats might decide to go to, those that go to Tonga might stop only 3 days or 4 days, get food, water, go, and save the time for Fiji. That's how it works. So then the start date in Fiji is organised such that, generally speaking, once 25% of the fleet has arrived in Fiji, the restart will actually be reset about 2 weeks later, right? So even though we've got a suggested date for starting in Fiji, that might go out the window. If the fleet's really slow across the voyage, across the Pacific, and they get in late, we may end up starting the race 10 days later than it's what's suggested at the moment. Or if they all get there early, we may decide to start it a week earlier because we want to keep them moving going across the Pacific. So generally speaking, I've explained all that as a concept of how it works. It is very simple, but for people booking to meet the boats and so on ahead of schedule, it's challenging. And generally speaking, we wouldn't make the start any earlier for Fiji at the leg starts because we know people are planning to be there. But it may be delayed. So if you're booking a flight out based on the start date in Fiji, it may not happen. All right. So just be aware of that. Now, I'm going to, seeing we're talking about this, I'm going to show you some pictures just to show you where the actual finish lines and start lines are and so on. I think, hang on, I've got to find the right selection here. I think, hang on, stand by. A bunch of photos. It's not that one. It must be this one here. Hang on. Hopefully that's 2. Is that the one? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go the other way here. I'm just going to push through a couple of things. Panama. Okay. So Antigua, you know where Antigua is. The start line will be offshore there. Allison at the National Sailing Academy will pick the start. This is Panama. This is the entrance, a bit of chart from the entrance going into the Panama Canal. There's a huge long breakwater there and a huge long breakwater there. The finish line for it is at in between the two lights here. That's the finish line for leg 1 from Antigua to Panama. And when they get there, they turn left, and this is Shelter Bay Marina here. Okay, so that's where the action will happen. And some people are coming to Panama. That's pretty simple because it's only 1,200 miles. So the dates should be pretty right, as we've suggested. Then we want to move them across as best we can to get to the other side. Now I can't see the map here. The buttons, there it is. Okay, so once we've got them across the other side, where are we going? This is where we're going here, we hope. We're still coordinating this and setting it up. But this is the end of the Panama Canal going out into the Pacific. So, and there's a peninsula, a little isthmus that comes out here. And there's a place called Flamenco Marina and Flamenco Dry Stack. We're hoping to use them. So the boats will be based around here. Now, the start from here is really crazy because it will be scheduled for probably the 24th now. I think we'll use every day. and all the skippers will be on the marina. They'll all be standing around a table. There'll be 15 glasses of orange juice there, and at exactly 12 o'clock, they have to drink the glass of orange juice up on the, by the marina. And then once they've drunk their orange juice, that's the start date and time. Okay, and they walk down to the marina. They get on their boats and they make their own way out of the marina and head towards Fiji. Okay, there's no start line and start maneuvers and everything. It's actually starting from the marina. Okay, it's called a Le Mans start, where they all race to their cars, jump in the cars and go. So quite different, but it was the easiest way to organise this one, and it's a long way. This could be a 50-day leg just to the Marquises. Okay, so that's the deal there for the Panama stopover. There's a few people wanting to know where it's going to be and so on. Papeete actually has a finish line. All right, this is the main harbour in Papeete in Tahiti. So after they've decided what they do in, or if they want to stop in the Marquises, they make their way to Papeete. This is where they've got to go. They go from west to east, anywhere across this line. They could sail into the harbour and cross it in here, depending on the weather. And then once they've done that, the clock's running on them for using up their pit stop time. And some of them, most of them, will probably want to come through here and around to the other marina around the side. They could try and find a berth in the city marina. This will be really challenging because this is right in the middle of all of the cruising season, and every marina is booked out virtually, and it's going to be a case sometimes they might have to anchor and swim ashore. I don't know yet. That'll be up to them to decide. This is where being an independent voyager works, because it's their responsibility to do their own management. We have nothing to do with Marquises. We have nothing to do with Papeete. We have nothing to do with Tonga. It's entirely up to the entrant themselves and their manager to work it out. In this instance, they're working with an agent called Tahiti Crew, which organises all of the paperwork for Marquises, and the same with Tahiti, and all of the entrants have to coordinate that before we release them to leave Panama. All right, so it's their responsibility, but they've got to show us they've got all the permits to make sure they're legal to go, because there's a lot of paperwork dealing with Papeete and the French region. So that happens there. So that's they cross that and then they stop. It's a compulsory stop in Papeete. Okay, so then the next one, Tonga, is up to them. So this is Fiji. This is Nandi over here. Okay, so there's Nandi. This is Lutuku's just off the screen up the top. There's two passages here where they can come through. They could sail through this one here. There's two either side of this little island here. Oh, actually, yeah, these are pictures, so I'm not sure. You can't see my cursor, I don't think. I'm not sure whether you can see my cursor, but anyway, there is a couple of passes here. The one marked A, that's an optional finish line. This is the finish for leg 2 in Fiji. It's an optional finish line there, depending on storms and conditions and so on. But the real finish line is over here, which is right next to Vuda Marina. So they've got to have to sail in through the pass. There's a tricky one here. Normally, I would sail in through one of these, but this one has lead lights on it. So you could finish there at night time, or you could finish there in daytime, and that's your finish line. Take your own finish, and it gives you plenty of time to get to Vuda Marina. But that would only happen if there's huge storms or dangerous situations. So, well, that'll be optional. But it'll be declared later as they're closing to Fiji. So, and this is where Vuda Marina is. I think I've got another shot over here. Yeah, okay. This is Vuda. This will be one of the favourite stopovers for any leg finish anywhere. It's a fantastic place. Bit of a long story, but the short story is there's a circular marina here, a pool here, another one just there, bigger one, and the little one right there is going to be exclusively for the 580s. We'll all be lined up in this little one right by the club and the restaurants and bits and pieces. Fantastic spot. And this is the official line here. It goes from, it's an official line on their GPS. So they'll use their GPSs to cross this line. It's 1741.20 south, which is right along that line there, and extends from east and west of that to close it off is 177.23, 177.23.20 east, and 177.22.60 east. So they'll just sail across that out the front of the marina, and then they go in. So that's, and I'll forget about the rest because there's a long way around the world. So if I can find the real button here, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Hit that and I should pop up. Yep, it's me. So if you are planning to visit the boats, be careful. Listen to what we're saying. You know, as it's getting closer, it's there. But Fiji is going to be a big one for sure. And Panama sort of works as long as you know where we're going. Okay, that's that. So where we got? G'day Rex. G'day John. So quick. Have people clicked like already? Yes, they are. People are coming. So I've clicked like. Good on you, Rex. Thank you for that. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, all that sort of stuff. Put the bells on, whatever. If you put the bells on, I've never done it actually. I never put the bell alerts for YouTube, but apparently you hit that bell wherever it is and you'll get some sort of signal to say something's happening. G'day, Christine, from the airport. You're on your way. Okay. Okay, Jonathan, Don, I wanted to point out that Sam Holmes posted a YouTube video yesterday with an interview and tour of Mark Sinclair and Coconuts. Very informative. Yeah, Sam is a YouTuber, quite an amazing one. You know, we watched in fact, Jane and I are always laughing because when we went over to Bring Adventure, our other boat down from Tahiti to Fiji, I kept saying I did a bit of some video, which we haven't put up yet. We did a live, I think it was, yeah, but we shot some video as well. And I kept saying, I'm not turning into a YouTube channel. But Sam is one of the ones that is really fun to watch. He's a real character, and he's sailing a 28-footer. I think he's off around the world now. I haven't followed every I don't follow him very often, but I saw he's one across the Atlantic and some of his other funny little ones that he's been doing in the Med. But now he's out. He's in Antigua, so whether he's going to hang out in the Caribbean or whether he's off around the world, I'm not sure. But the character and Coconut, well, Coconut's Coconut. He's nuts, right? He twice in GGR. So if you get onto it, yeah, if you just get onto Google and search Sam Holmes, he's got a sailing video program. He's a YouTuber, and he's quite interesting. I haven't seen the one on Mark, so it'll probably be worth a look. So Mark will be there when the boats arrive as well, and he's going to follow the fleet around the world now. They're going to have a race, and I'm not sure whether he'll keep up, but it'll be fun to watch. Okay. G'day, Sienna. Will somebody else receive the first competitor since you got? Oh, yeah. It's all organised. The official times come from the tracker. So the entrants have to take their own finish times when they cross that finish line on the leads into English Harbour. So they take their own finish time, but we see it on the tracker, and we always use the tracker time. So as soon as they cross the line, it's instantaneous, and we know exactly when. Then they come to Falmouth Harbour. There's a bunch there. Gary Swindle is there, who's got the other 580s. He still hasn't got his boat yet. He's shipped out of Australia, and there was delays. And he sent me a message like 20 minutes ago or before this, and said he's hoping to get access to it today. And he's got two of his mates there, the professionals. You know, they're good on boats, so they'll be in a big rush to get it going. But Gary will be there, those guys, Ayrton's there, Mark will be there, Jill will be there. There's a bunch of them getting ready to welcome them in. So it is really, it's the first time it's ever happened for us. You know, every event we've ever done, we've been there. But as I was saying, there's a few things that built up for us that made it impossible. So we can't be there, which is a bit sad. But I have the utmost faith in Ayrton and the team there. Ayrton's the official finisher there. So thanks for doing that, guys and girls. Is there someone on the tracker which shows the shadow of the sun on the Earth? Yeah, it is. It would be great to know sunrise and sunset times where the boats are. Watching daily from yeah, it is, but it's not so accurate. We've seen that. And at the end of this, if I remember, I'll cross my fingers now so I don't forget. For those that want to, I'll just go back and show you where that button is, and you can actually see the day or night. It's so called, but it's usually, you know, because there's a twilight. Obviously, it's sort of up to, I can't put my fingers, so I'll put my biro on the keyboard, about an hour and a half out sometimes, not quite defined, but I'll try and show you if we can. Oh, Graham's here. In his phone call, Kerry said he was concerned with managing his fatigue levels before reaching Antigua. He may just be resting. Too true. Yeah, that's shipshape and Bristol fashion. That's what you would do in the Navy, managing human resources and your own human resource. He's a flyer as well. That's something that I do. I'm a flyer as well, not like him. He flies, but he's Sea King Mark. It's Mark 6 Sea Kings. I don't know whether you saw my post, like serious shit. And he commanded a sort of aircraft carrier. He'd been captain of the aircraft, you know, anyway. So, but even in my flying times, you have to personal management of your time and energy and all that is very important. So it could well be. We'll see. So, okay, Graham, in his phone call, Kerry said he was concerned. Oh, yeah, I've got it in twice. So he said the autopilot could not cope and the wind vane was not functional. Okay, so maybe the wind vane is completely dead. I saw his conrod. He said he had a problem with that. We discussed that the other day. So something's up, and he's not going as fast as he could, and something's up on a few other boats, but I can't talk about. So you'll have to wait to the finish to find out. It'll be very interesting. What's the logistics, g'day Peter, getting all the boats through the Panama Canal? We're still, this is an amazing story. I started talking about it in the middle of last year with the guys over there, and then again in October, and then again in November. And I just found out 10 days ago that not much has happened so far, but they're onto it now. The plan's pretty simple in that we need to sort out a trailer, okay, modify the trailer to fit one of the boats, and then they come out on the travel lift. We'll all take the masts out, so you get 2 or 3 skippers together. You can lower the mast without a crane, put it on the top of the boat. Then the travel lift picks the boat up, puts it on the trailer, okay, and then they drive the boat across to the other side. Travel lift takes it off, puts it back in the water with the mast on it, and then it's there. So that's all being organised as we speak. We had hoped that it'd be organised months ago, but that's how it works. But now we're on top of it. We'll see where it goes. And we're hoping to basically travel about 1.5 boats a day. We've got about 10 days to get everyone across. And once they're on the trailer, you could transport 2 or 3 boats a day. It's just coordinating the travel lift each end and all those sorts of things. So there's going to be hugely busy. Everyone will be flat out. And what will probably happen is just to make sure they all realise the importance, we will set the start time and date. And if someone's still transporting their boats and putting up rigs because they had too much of a good time here and there, then that'll be their problem, not our problem. So everyone will be completely focused about getting across. It costs money to do all that, 2 travel lifts, and we've got to pay the modification of the trailer and so on. Strangely, there's very few boat trailers in Panama, maybe even none. And we're trying to source possibly a flat top car trailer, like a flat top twin axle trailer that you'd normally put a car up on. And then we'll have to fabricate a special one-off cradle, like a yard cradle that you see in a shipyard, that the 580 can just sit in that cradle. Okay, very simple, steel square section thing, weld it all up, put some pads there. So the boat goes in the cradle. And the idea then is you just get the car trailer, put the cradle on top of the flat top for the car trailer, strap it in really well. In fact, that can be made, the base of that cradle can be made to fit the car trailer. And then you just put the boats in the cradle and take them across, take it out of the cradle and bring it back. And when you're finished, you just take the cradle off the trailer, because it'll probably be hired. The car trailer will be hired, and go from there. It's an interesting way to do it if you're building a 580, so you don't have to buy a trailer, because you could manufacture your own cradle, right, and use it as a cradle to stand in the yard, but then you've got to get a crane to pick it up and put it on the trailer when on those occasions you want to actually move it. But it means, you've got a car trailer and a boat trailer. If a car trailer is probably more versatile, rather than just a boat trailer, because you don't launch them like a boat in the water going down the ramp. You do it other ways. Anyway, that's a long answer for a short question. So we're not going through Panama Canal. It's too difficult. Guess Kerry broke his pole in sails with jib and main. Yeah, possibly. You can break a pole in different ways. The easiest way is to have your pole and sail out and then get laid down and hit the water, because the water pressure on the sail is massive, and it pushes in a different direction, and all of a sudden, bang, your pole broke. So I know from experience. I did that in the Southern Ocean through my lack of experience at the time. G'day, Alenka. I'm joining a bit late today. Not a problem. And let's see if we can get something cranked up on the YB, That'll be fun. G'day, Alenka. Good to hear this update about speed. I had a feeling the fleet was crossing with quite amazing speed this year. Yeah, absolutely did. That'll be 10 days quicker than last year. Quite incredible. At the boatyard, not cutting any fingers off. Good. Yeah. I've had the number of people, Alenka's talking about accidents. When you're building your boat, you've got to be so super careful, because it is so easy to have accidents building boats. I won't even tell you what I did. I nearly stuck a screwdriver straight into my eye like that at full strength on my arm. Jeez. Anyway, weather has been a bit cooler, but must be warm. Okay, cool, not cool. I think 33 degrees in Brisbane. Bugger me. 38 for about how long will it take them after crossing the finish line to get to the sailing academy? Oh, it depends on the weather and stuff, but assuming they're sailing, they'll spend another hour and a half or something, hour and a half or so, something like that. It's still a little bit of a distance around the corner, but not too bad. Honestly, at this stage, anything. Oh, I think they're having a conversation. John, are you going to meet them in Tahiti or Tonga? No. We'll be on our boat in Fiji, having a grand time, running the MGR from some beautiful tropical anchorage, using Starlink, and not going to Tonga and not going to Tahiti. It's that's the plan at the moment. Anyway, we may go to Tonga. I've got some things in Tonga. I've got to get in a few bits and pieces, and so. But we'll wait and see. We've got to put the boat back in the water and so on. But yeah, we don't need to be in Tahiti. All the paperwork and everything's done from there. It's not and they'll all be coming at different times and going at different times, because the fleet you could find separate quite a lot going across the Pacific. If it's a 50-day leg, you can see Popeye down the back and Origami Renault up the front. They could get 10 days, 2 weeks apart. So, and we don't have the budget to fly around all over the place and everything. It's quite tricky getting there from one place to the other. So we decided we will base in Fiji and follow on through from there. I imagine that some of the strategic sailors will look at weather windows and take pit stops based on catching the best weather and maximising speed when they're there. Absolutely. It's part of the tactical side of it. That's why we've made those decisions optional, in terms of stopovers, for not only meeting up with friends in Fiji, because if I was doing it, I would probably want as long as I could get in Fiji to be with family and friends, but also to follow the weather. And that's exactly what you're doing if you're making a quick passage across the Pacific and around the world. So they're independent voyages and they can manage it, but it's still a race, and so we have to juggle the pit stop times, yeah. And so that's why we've condensed it. So leg one from Panama to Fiji, they can freely use up to 23 days to stop anywhere they want, really. They might want to make lots of little stops, or they might want to or they might save it, put it in the bank and use it all in Fiji. So it's pretty easy to explain to the general public what's going on. Oh, no, you haven't seen. Okay, so you didn't see my cursor in the picture. But anyway, you could probably walk it through. It's pretty simple. I've been to the marina. I think they sang and played. Oh yeah, Vuda Marina in Fiji is like our second home. Jen and I are based out of there for 6 or 7 years. Every winter we'd leave the boat there. Every summer over the cyclone season we'd leave the boat in a hole. They dig a hole and you put the keel in the hole, so if there's a cyclone it won't fall over. And then we'd come back every winter and cruise Tonga and Fiji and stuff. It's fantastic. And the marina people are so friendly. So, yeah, you can bet. And Adam, who manages the marina there, great guys. In fact, they all are. We know him really well. He's that far away from building his own 580. I gave him a set of plans last year. And we were there, as you know, a few months back. And he's so close to starting to build. And some of you may not realise, but there's a big development. I've spoken about it a couple of times. We haven't officially announced it yet. So let's just say it's not official yet, but there will be, probably, in inverted commas, a 580 World Championship event in Vuda Marina in conjunction with the 2029 MGR. And the plan is, you're getting all this hot news now, is how it works. If you built your boat in Europe, right, you've got a 580 and you're doing bits, you might have done the Transat, or you might have done some of the local stuff that the national associations are running. But imagine you just built your boat, you're sitting in Sweden, in Norway, in Holland, or whatever it is, wherever you like, Finland, the cold, miserable, and blah, blah, blah. And you have an opportunity to put your boat with another one in a 40-foot container and ship it to Fiji. And crack it open, and then sail your 580 in Fiji for 1, 2, 3, or 4 months, and then ship it home again. And the idea is that when we bring the fleet to Vuda in 29, we'll know how the speed of the boats is going around the world, and we'll like make the stopover a longer one, and it could be for 6 weeks or something like that in Fiji. And when it is, boats could arrive a month before and cruise Fiji in your 580, which would be heaven, right? Then get involved with this little World Championship regatta, which will consist of two-handed races, and it'll all be two-handed, just around local areas and stuff. Maybe a couple that are 200, 300 miles, well, one that's a 200 or 300 mile race, but the others will be overnighters or just fun stuff. And we work it out like that. You get certain points, and then there'll be a world champion. So people can ship their boats in from all around the world to Fiji and be in the area for like 3 or 4 months, have fun, and then when it's all over, ship your boats home again. Yes, it's going to cost a bit for shipping, but cheapest. If you ever want to have fun with your boat, with your 580, what a way to go. So that's going to happen. We'll make that happen, and Adam thinks it's a great idea as well, and so on. So you can be building your boat in Europe, thinking one day I'm not going to do the MGR, but I'm going to ship my boat to Fiji, and we're going to have a bucket load of fun with the MGR guys when they come through. So anyway, but they sing and dance when you arrive, and it's a really nice place. Is Coconut that guy from Adelaide? Yeah, that's a good line. Yep, Coconut's that guy from Adelaide. Yep, in the orange boat, the Lalo 34, called Coconut. It's Mark Sinclair. He's a retired Navy guy, and he skippered our boat Explorer around the world in the OGR, and lost 4 winch handles on the first leg. Say no more. Anyway, oh boy, I better wrap this up. It's taking too long. What boat will Mark be using to follow them around? It's his boat. It's the boat that he did the 2018 Golden Globe race in it, and then he entered again in the 22 race, but he retired very quickly from Lanzarote. Ocean Racing 51, Josh Curley. Oh, that's someone's asking about what boat will Mark be. That's I'm not sure why Jane put that in there, whether it's their tracker position or maybe a post from Josh or something. So have a look at that link that Jane has put in there. Warren, hi Don. Did you see the link to recent interview with Captain Coconut at Margie? Yeah, I've seen a few of those. In fact, we posted it on MGR. We don't do it on Transat because he's not doing the Transat, but I did the interview with the local guys. In fact, I didn't realize. In fact, I got an email from. Oh, hang on, is that Warren? No. From the guys from Alan at B&B. Now, B&B are the guys that developed the kit. We worked with them for many months to come up with the kit, do all the modeling and all the CAD files and everything. They're really nice guys, very talented. And you would have seen the video, sort of computer-generated video about how to build your boat. It goes for an hour. It's had 90,000 hits or something like now. That's all Alan at B&B, but he was there with Josh, which I didn't know about. I read the article, but I didn't realize until I read the article that it was B&B, and they just sent me an email because there's another project we're working on. So if you're watching this, Alan, sorry I haven't got back to you. I've been flat out. So, but yeah, kind of interesting. Warren, onboard YB3 trackers any use for cruising boats? Depends if you need that service, and they're a very good unit for safety, the YB3, because it's waterproof and goes for a long time. You've got tracking and so on. And so the YB3 is one of the best of that style. There's lots of other commercial ones on the market as well that give you tracking opportunities and short texting and messaging and so on. So yeah, for cruising boats they are for sure, because sometimes you don't need a phone. You don't need a satellite phone. How long a drive time is it across Panama? Not sure, but it must be about an hour or something. It's not very far. You can pace it out. I haven't done the drives. Getting out of the marina is a long, windy sort of, not a dirt track, but a little road, and then there's a bit of a highway, and then but it should be an hour and a half or something like that. I think you need a flatbed truck with a crane. No, that's fine. We'll get something happening. Find a car flatbed trailer big enough for the boat. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Oh, but it's just a normal trailer. Hook it on a car that normally carries cars. They got the big flat top, and then just put the cradle in top of it and go. But we're looking at all options again. But it's a bit late. I thought we were actually being there. Kerry closing distance 6 mile if this is when the pole broke. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. How realistic is to set a sheep to tiller system in case of plan A, B failed. It's hard to do a sheep to tiller on the 580 if you want to go the wrong way. Downwind would be challenging, but not impossible. And we strongly recommend people try it. There's a lot of information on YouTube about sheep to tiller self-steering gears, and a couple of them have tried it and got it to work okay. It's not impossible, but depends how fast you want to go and where you want to go, which angle in the wind. Eric's Tracker is not updating. Okay, so Globe Transat Eric's Tracker is not updating. Okay, well, that's interesting. I haven't seen him today, but I'll have a look. Build a plane. Now I'm going to do a class globe photo. Ooh, you built a plane, eh? That's cool. Well, so I tried. I sort of did. I've still got in my hangar at home in Australia a Kit Fox Classic 4 on amphibious floats. We pop down wheels and stuff, but that's one of my flying frustrations. So anyway, that's another long story. I wonder what plane you built. What did you build? Obviously experimental or something, but that's cool. Good on you. Who's putting in Globe Transat Sun Bear? Oh yeah, that's Eric's Tracker there. It's all on. So if you want to follow GGR stuff, go to the GGR Facebook page. It's all there. I see Josh is now truly on his way. Yeah. Mario, probably more realistic to shift the sheep tiller system than what you propose. Probably more sheep to tiller. No, forget sheep to tiller. You're not going to race around the world. John Guswell did it. It's all fine. But believe me, all you've got to do, if you need to go to the MGR news section, and you'll see a post there in amongst the news, and it's called, about wind vanes self-steering gears and learning how to fly. You need to fly the wind vanes, and you need to look after them, and this, that, and the other. All the wind vanes work really well. Okay, if they're a commercial wind vane, they would never be able to sell any if they didn't work. The issue then is to make sure you know how it works, right? Which is the first thing. It's absolutely critical. And the second thing is you need to know how to maintain it. You get some motions around the world. I work with that, something like 5 million movements for a little nut and a bolt going like this, boom, boom, boom. And it's mechanical. Anything mechanical is going to break eventually. If you fly a helicopter, you know that, believe me. And it's all program maintenance. And if you treat your wind vane with respect, it will go all the way around the world. And you've got to have spares, and you've got to know what it does, and you've got to know how to look after it. So sheep to tiller is good for emergency backstop, but believe me, a lot of the things that you'll be seeing about the entrance and the way their wind vane is either performing or not performing will come down to human issues, right? The wind vanes themselves are designed to do a job, and they do them well. And that's all brands, Wind Pilot is fine. Hydrovane is fine. Aries is fine. South Atlantic is fine. They all work. And when they break down, yes, if they break really quickly, it might be a problem. But you should be aware of that and take the spares to keep it going. So a lot of people are going to learn a lot of things from this trip around the world, which is part of the reason it's fascinating. It's fantastic to see. And there will be frustration. So anyway, organised race events and cruising Fiji sounds like a great idea. Oh, yeah, you could just zip up there in a few weeks, link a sail up there and have some fun. But the World Championship, very grand statement, in Fiji in 2029 MGR is going to happen, believe me. It'll be fun. And maybe even I'll have a boat then. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. According to Josh Tracker, he's all over the place. Yeah, that's probably the wind. Whenever you look at the trackers, when they don't have a wind overlay, you need to look at windy just to give you an indication of what's happening, because sometimes it'll be based on the weather they've got. Okay, I think that's enough from me. It's a big one. So thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow, hopefully. We're going to miss out on a tracker. We'll try to do things because we'll be traveling and we'll be stopping where we can and do a tracker update. But it'll be pretty interesting in the meantime. So on that short note, we'll get out of here. Thanks a lot. See you later.
Witness history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.